Hello everyone, I'm Jaren Joshua, and today I found out something pretty interesting about Spider-Man Homecoming. This Marvel film is going to be the most serious high school movie ever, and the best, because that's in the title, but more on that later. As we discussed in the last video, Spider-Man Homecoming seems to have a lot in common with the Miles Morales comics, which I'm actually starting to think is being used as a structure for the movie, and possibly even for the planned sequels. In the Ultimate Comics, Miles is a kid who doesn't have a lot of friends. He isn't cool or popular. When he's bitten by the radioactive spider, he gets superpowers, meets the Ultimate Spider-Man, and feels like he can be a little more than just an average teenager. But even though Spider-Man trusts him, he still can't be sure that Miles actually knows what he's getting into. Peter Parker is an average high schooler who doesn't have many friends, and he's just a part of the crowd at school. Then one day he gets spider-like powers, meets the Avengers, and fights alongside them and against them. Peter now feels like he has something to prove, but Iron Man says that you're not ready. See what I mean? It's practically the same story. I hope that all of the following events won't be rooted from the Ultimate Comics as well. Don't just change the characters' names and call it a day. One thing we know for certain, though, is that they are both high school stories, and so far, much better than the stereotypical two. That song goes on for nearly 5 minutes. Sure, most high school movies are about the not cool kids becoming cool kids, but the process of that is usually so cheesy. It's either, I got a makeover and now people like me, or I learned karate. Miles' journey from nerd to superhero is so much more interesting. It's based on existing struggles and difficulties, and even when the gift comes, also known as the spider bite, those struggles are still there. Sometimes even bigger problems come by, adult-sized problems. The kind the mentors come by, also known as Ultimate Peter and Tony Stark, say no to. The story of Miles Morales and Peter Parker are not only high school stories, they're both giving wads of effort in trying to prove themselves, because they're willing to take the risk of being superheroes and not stay in the old boring life of a high schooler, comparatively speaking, especially in Miles and Peter's case. Like I said, Peter and Miles still have their normal struggles, even with their powers, which means that despite this big change, it didn't fix anything, it almost made it worse. But what the real movie/comic is about is seeing them get through those problems. MCU Peter and Ultimate Comics Spider-Man feel they can fit in with their Avengers, and they do. The only reason why they have a hard time with that is because basically they're somewhat inexperienced, and they're not quite ready to take on supervillains. Sure, Peter fought the Avengers, and Miles and Ultimate Spider-Man fought each other mostly out of confusion and frustration, but Ultimate Spider-Man would never kill Miles, and Captain America doesn't murder unless it's absolutely necessary. This might be what happens in Spider-Man Homecoming. Peter sees a villain. If he manages to defeat him, then Tony will let him join the Avengers.
So, to become an Avenger, are there trials or an interview?
Just don't do anything I would do.
Iron Man says, no, don't do it. Spider-Man says, I'll do it anyway. He messes up, and then he gets his suit taken away from him, which is why we see so many old suit appearances in the trailers. I'm guessing he's able to defeat Shocker without his high-tech Spider-Man suit. And then Iron Man helps him, one, because he's in a lot of trouble for taking out one of the Vulture's gangsters.
The world's changing, boys. Time we change too.
Don't mess with me, because I will kill you and everybody you love.
And two, because two superheroes are more powerful than one, and this is the kind of stuff he does by himself anyway. So, conclusion. Spider-Man Homecoming will be the most different, or in this case, unique high school movie ever. I can't say if it's the best just yet. Normally, high school films are either making fun of teenagers, and what happens to them or the way they act is not meant to be taken seriously. Like Princess Diaries, which I have to say, it wasn't bad. Or they think that we've got this in the bag and we can spread a real lesson to these kids. I'm going to tell you right now, they've never really done that successfully.
I finally figured out, that our dreams have no limitations. That's what it's all about.
Spider-Man Homecoming is unique because Peter Parker is a teenager that can actually be taken seriously. Do you think Spider-Man Homecoming is going to be great? Make sure to leave a comment below on what you guys think. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, that's always appreciated, and subscribe to Jeremy Joshua for more videos like this one. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.